shifts to Philly for a pivotal Game 3. Our coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on FS1 and your Fox Sports app. All right, guys, the Ringers QB rankings updated yesterday. Dak Prescott, Skip, he's coming in at number 7. Dak hasn't played in a game, of course, since going out with that thumb injury week 1, but is likely to return as the starter Sunday. He did get medical clearance to fully practice this week. His pre-snap pocket presence and decision-making were his highest-rated categories. All right, Shannon, before Skip jumps in, is Dak indeed the NFL's 7th best quarterback right now?
No. At no point in time in Dak's career have I thought he was the 7th best quarterback. He wasn't the 7th best quarterback when he was healthy this year. How the hell he going to miss 5 weeks and come back and be the 7th best quarterback, Skip? He was 11th in QBR last season. The 7th best quarterback? The 7th? The 7th best quarterback would have beat Jimmy Garoppolo at home. That's what I believe. Because he had to consider. But Skip, I look at Dak. I think Dak is the middle-of-the-pack quarterback. I think he's somewhere between 11 and 15. That's where I would put Dak. That's where I would put him. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, and I definitely don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. I want to know who taking Dak over Joe Burrow. That's what I need to know. Skip Bayless ain't even taking Dak.
No.
He's been a Cowboy fan, he says, since 61. Mm-hmm. And he would not take Dak.
No way.
Cowboy Nation, not one person in Cowboy Nation would take Dak Prescott over Joe Burrow. I mean, he's ahead of guys like Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts has played better than Dak this year.
13th on the list is Jalen Hurts.
Man, stop. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't know who. I don't know how they come to these rankings that like Dak can be out for 5 weeks and come back and he's the 7th best quarterback. Hell, he wasn't 7th best when he left. So how the hell he gonna come back and be 7th best?
My turn. What did I tell you kept happening low over these 5 weeks that Dak was out?
You might be right.
The longer he was out, the better he got. Until finally, on Sunday night, as Cooper Rush finally started to unravel a little bit in the second quarter at Philadelphia, Dak Prescott became a combination of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes with Brady's brain somehow. And all of a sudden, I open this analyst list and I fall out of my chair. He's risen all the way to 7th on this list. Well, he hadn't even played, but he's all the way up to 7th. And what's the breakdown here? First line, Dak Prescott is forever underrated.
How?
I kind of thought he was overrated, but that's just me. Dak Prescott has quietly developed into one of the NFL's most cerebral passers. Biggest strength, it's odd how little credit Dak receives for the work he does before the snap. Well, I appreciate that, but all I really care about is what happens after the snap, right?
Exactly.
So, forever underrated Dak Prescott. The last time I actually saw him on a football field, he was completing 14 of 29 passes in the season opener at Jerry World on Sunday Night Football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whose defense you find occasionally suspect, a defense that my homeboy put up 41 on, right?
They hadn't been that good since opening night.
Okay. Dak Prescott that night threw for a grand total of 134 yards before he got hurt, which was pretty late in the game.
Right.
His QBR that night was 18.6 on a scale 0 to 100, and he managed to put up on the scoreboard 3 total points, and he's forever underrated. And then if we can fast backward just one more game to the playoff game. Card. Yeah. It's 23-7 going to the fourth quarter. So you're at home, you're favored to win the game, and you have managed to score 7 points through 3 quarters, and the game is virtually over. And you do, Dak Prescott, what you have always done, which is a little flurry in the end. Shannon Sharp could dismiss it as empty calories, and you do make it look respectable. But that's all it was respectable. And in the end, your QBR in that game is 32, scale 0 to 100. It's just not good enough because you got Jimmy G'd at home, to your point. And then if I can just hark back a little farther back to the Denver game at home when you stunk, to the game at my homeboy when you had the ball 12 times and managed 3 field goals, Thanksgiving against the Raiders. You stunk. You win the toss in overtime, and you can't get a first down. Really? And then against Kyler at home, and then Jimmy G at home, and then the Bucs defense at home and the season opener. I'm sorry, forever underrated it's starting to feel more like overrated to me. But the longer he was out, the better he got. And then meanwhile, and I'm speaking for a lot of Cowboy fans that I do know, and they shared your view of Cooper Rush, like they never bought into him. The more Cooper Rush won games, obviously he won his first 5 starts in the league, the less they liked him, which is mind-blowing to me because in this rating, he falls all the way down to, where's Cooper Rush here? Down to 34th on the list, 34th. Okay, I get it. And the point was, the analyst says, Cooper Rush just doesn't have the juice in his arm to make the necessary throws to start in this league. Okay, that's fine, but the throws many times in the clutch were going right where they needed to go on time because he was speed reading and anticipating the throw before the receiver broke open, and the ball would be delivered right on target, right on time. And he kept doing that. And the irony was, after he had the one flurry of unraveling in the second quarter, because remember, he got thrown up against the biggest buzzsaw in this league right now, which is the Philadelphia defense. They're on fire, taking the ball away. They're running away with the take-away race, which leads to them running away with the turnover differential race. And yet, once Cooper Rush heaved a sigh and settled down late in the second quarter, if we could see the 2 throws, just quickly, just let me get this off my chest. The 2 throws at the end of the half could have cut it to 20-7. This is the first one, as we know, to Noah Brown. And he almost makes a circus catch. He just couldn't get a butt cheek down. And yet it was a nice throw that had a chance. And then we got the one this is to Michael Gallup, and he's open. And it looks like it's going to be a touchdown to me. And Bradbury drops out of his zone. I think he's playing zone and gets his fingertips on.
Bradbury should have sunk more. I don't know why he took that step up because the linebacker had the back in the flat, so there was no reason. He should have picked that.
Okay, so there was a moment when I thought it was a touchdown. But my point is, those are both from 12 yards out. If you hit either one of those plays, then it's 20-7, and you would be on your way to scoring 21 unanswered points because the first 2 drives of the second half, Cooper Rush engineered long drives with numerous completions to cut it to 20-17.
Right.
Okay, so my point is, okay, all he did was make throws. I don't know. And yet I'm not saying that he's better than Dak Prescott because clearly in a vacuum he's not. He just played better than Dak has been playing, which is why it's mind-blowing to me you could put Dak above Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Okay. There are a lot of guys that he's placed above that I'm like, okay. Really? I don't know what you guys, what film you guys are watching.
All right, now let's do Jalen Hurts. Going into this year, we both would have said, well, Dak's a much better thrower of the football.
That's the only reason I picked the Cowboys, because I said Dak is a better thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
But Jalen Hurts has played better than Dak Prescott this year.
Jalen Hurts has worked his tail off on his throwing motion, on his delivery, on his anticipation. It's starting to look pretty good to me.
Right.
It's starting to look like big-time quarterback play. And we know he can operate the offense with his legs.
Yes.
And what happened when it got cut to 2017? What happened they had 3 straight third downs.
He went and got him.
He went and got him. He got the first one. He bolted from the pocket. I thought they would spy him, but there was no spy in the middle of the field. He just bolted right up the gut for the 5 yards they needed on 3rd and 4.
Right.
Then the next one, he just does ride and decide, and at the last second, it went opposite Micah, but he just lets Gainwell go for 5 yards, and it's because Jalen's threat with his legs.
Right.
So he is operating his offense at a very high level right now. Okay, I've said this from the start, and I hope I eat these words down the line, but I like Jalen's intangibles a little better than Dak's intangibles because Jalen is the leader of that football team. They love him. They play for him. They know he'll make plays for them. There's a trust factor, a bond factor that I don't sense with Dak. It's okay. It's not great.
Well,
so,
I saw Zeke come to his defense. I see CeeDee Lamb come to his defense, Skip. But I don't think, and we've only seen a small sample size. But Jalen Hurts was playing better. You just look at the first game. Jalen Hurts played better than what Dak was playing in his first game. If you want to have Dak evaluated higher than him coming into the season, but at some point in time, we got to just disregard that and start evaluating the guy on the play this year. Not last year, not the awards you won last year. Did you make the Pro Bowl or were you a top, your peers voted you? No. What are you doing right now? The 2022 season has started. So that's what we got to base it on. Jalen Hurts is playing better than Dak.
Okay, I got it. So now, as a Cowboy fan, lifelong diehard, I hope this is right. I need him to be the 7th best quarterback, because if this is right, my team is pretty good.
Yeah.
So if he can take it up a big, if he's the 7th best versus the 34th best in Cooper Rush, that tells me I got a chance to go places,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it.
Skip, I just don't know. I mean, your offense just leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, I agree.
mean, especially your receivers.
I hear you. I agree. Well, now we see if Dak can
Guys,
lift him up.
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert rounding out the top 3 on the Ringers list
Well, you know
of
my
top
homeboy.
QBs.
Go be there.
All right, I'm going to need you two to try to play nicely on this next one. Our Shannon Lakers going to get their first win of the season against Skip's Clippers
Yeah.
tonight.
You're in trouble.
That's on the
Getting
other
5
side of this
points.
break when
You're getting no
Undisputed
points.
returns.